This is the Town of Lake Park, Florida, final public hearing on the budget meeting for Thursday, September 18, 2025. The time is now 6:38 p.m. Can we have the clerk please take the roll call?
Commissioner Linden,
Present.
Commissioner O'Rourke,
Here.
Commissioner Thomas,
Present.
Vice Mayor Hensley, Mayor Mashad.
Here. Can we all please rise for the pledge? Okay. Pledge of Allegiance, special presentations, we have none. However, I do have one public comment card, and I will let that person come up as I'm making sure that this is the right order, which we are in the right order. Mr. Perhax, please go ahead.
Pablo Perhax, taxpayer and voter. A few comments. The first is which the budget process this year was more transparent and more easily understandable than I've seen it in any of the last 10 years. I'm expecting and hoping that it will continue to improve during the next couple budget years that I look at. My second comment follows my strong advocacy for what I call participatory democracy. And what I'd like the town to do as a commission is to institute what I call workshops with dialogue. For anybody who questions why they would want to listen to what I say, I want to remind everybody that I stand here as a taxpayer on behalf of many other taxpayers, and it is our money that you are spending, and therefore I believe we have the absolute right to as much input as we can in the budgeting process. My concept of a workshop with dialogue is that each resident is given sufficient time to present to the commission, ask questions, the commissioners, each of whom will then have the right to make comments and ask questions of the presenter. I don't see anything in the town charter that prohibits that. As recently as last night, I heard these concerns expressed from the commission that residents ask questions and they never receive any answers. And I do know, as do the commissioners, there's a growing frustration with the process as it exists today. So what I'm recommending is that beginning in October, the commission set aside one Saturday workshop with dialogue each month. With one topic to be discussed. We have plenty of projects and topics that the town could discuss. The P3, whether to build a rec center. More importantly, as to the budget, I'd like to see the town begin in January with one workshop with dialogue per month in which each department, one a month, start alphabetically, community development, go down through the list, but only questions and answers, and the topic will be related to the one department that is being discussed. I envision this as a situation where we can take breaks every hour, take a 10-minute break. We have plenty of food providers in town who can either come and cater or can be present during the break. And I think this will be a perfect opportunity for the residents and for each of the commissioners and the town manager to have a dialogue as to what's going on in the town and what can be done to deal with the issues. So I thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we have under new business, Resolution 700925, establish FY 2025 2026 millage rates, operating second and final reading. I'll start with you, Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Town Commission is requested to establish a final operating millage or property tax rate for the Town of Lake Park for the upcoming fiscal year 2026, beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026. Additionally, the Commission is requested to consider certifying the town's taxable values to the Palm Beach County Property Appraiser as well as other related financial information. The gross taxable value for all properties within the town for fiscal year 2026 is $1,294,041,142, an increase of $108,037,571 over fiscal year 2025. The rollback rate is calculated at 4.1768 per $1,000 of taxable value. The town's final fiscal year 2026 operating millage for general fund is 5.1 per $1,000 of taxable value, or an increase of 22.10% over the rolled back rate. The gross taxable increment value for the Lake Park Community Redevelopment Agency for fiscal year 2026 is $354,928,978. This is the 29th year that the Lake Park CRA will receive TIF funding from both the town and the Lake Park and Town of Lake Park and Palm Beach County at the town's approved millage rate. The proposed operating millage rate of 5.1 per $1,000 of assessed valuation provides for a total millage rate of 20.8179, which includes all entities. As a result, the proposed resolution establishes the final millage rates for fiscal year 2026. The final 2026 operating millage rate resolution is being presented and on second and final reading and is recommended for approval.
Okay, thank you for that. Do we have any questions? And if no questions, I will entertain a motion.
I move to accept the 5.1 as the millage rate for the fiscal year 2026.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
We have a first and a second. Any other further discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Rourke.
I propose that we reduce the millage rate from, where are we? I'm sorry. Where is it? I'm sorry. I'm just listening. It's at 5.1. I'm looking to go to 5.0999. It's something that I think we should start considering doing, is reducing our millage rate, considering that the property value rollback rate is an increase of 22.1%. And we year after year have been arguing that we should accept the millage rate at no increase, but we never talk about decreasing the rate. I know it's a nominal amount, and it would not have much significance for the residents, except that it's the budget process is a policy process. And it's time we start considering that we have one of the higher millage rates in the county, and we should start doing something about that. Thank you.
Thank you. We're in discussion right now, right?
Yes.
Barbara, we've dropped the millage in the past, correct?
The millage is 5.1. It was dropped to 5.1 last year from 5.187. And the year before it was 5 point, I want to say 3.
Correct, it was at 5.3.
1.5 point.
When was the first year it was dropped? Because I know what Commissioner O'Rourke is saying about we've kept it quite a bit, because I was here
Yeah,
for
let me
most
see
of
if I still have all my,
I'm just trying to remember from that point, how many times from the first time to now has it dropped?
I don't seem to have that chart with me.
I want to say it's twice it's
It was,
dropped.
it was dropped twice.
Yeah, I want to say it was
in-
twice.
In between, in 2 to 3 years.
Because when I first started, it was like a 5.3474.
So- Yes, and then I went
A
to,
5.3474, and then we've kept it that way
For years,
for 3 years, and then,
collecting the rollback.
correct.
increase.
And then we dropped it 1 year. I believe property values took an increase, and then we dropped it again. I mean, we're not talking significant drops, but enough to put a bite out of things. How will this affect the budget with Commissioner O'Rourke's suggestion?
so we did present some cuts that will run through tonight. And so those cuts would work toward offsetting any decrease in revenue by changing the millage rate. And we should be covered with that without having to do anything else.
Okay. So I'm going to leave the floor open to my commission members. Commissioner Linden.
Thank you. I think it was Delray that was just on the news about increasing their millage rate.
Substantially.
People were going berserk, okay? And if we cut it 1%,
It's not even 1%.
no, hear me out. If we cut it 1% to 5.0 straight across the board, somewhere the number stuck in my mind that the average resident in our town would save approximately $100. All right? So if we went to 0.999, there would be very little savings to the residents. I brought up Delray because once this is published and posted, next year, if we have to raise it, we've been at 5.1 for a while. Even at 0.001, if we raise it back up, it's going to be more. Lake Park has raised the taxes, and that's my concern. While we can cover it this year, next year everything's going to get higher, everything across the board, as we try to bring back some of these items. So I don't think the saving 0.001 is of much value this year because of how we have to get the money, because we have to go into reserves to get the money. So unless we're prepared to go into reserves next year, even something as little as that, while it looks good this year, I see it being a problem moving forward. Just my opinion.
Okay, thank you. And actually, I'm actually agreeing with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
No, because
This is actually happening weird.
something new in America.
Commissioner Thomas.
But no, and it really plays to hearing our commissioners
Yeah,
from both ends, and for us to be here and see what the overall benefit would be to our residents next year if we were to do something that, Commissioner O'Rourke is proposing this year. You're correct, because we already know ahead of ourselves what's coming,
correct.
and we should prepare ourselves for it. Therefore, we've cut a lot of programs here, even programs I would say that I myself have supported, because we want to be conservative, and we also want to make sure, too, that our residents' dollars go a long way. So, in saying that, something for us as a commission to consider.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Commissioner Linden?
Well, the department heads need to be thanked for digging deeply into there and reducing it to where they can. And as we go through this year, it's going to tell us a lot. Is our level of service going to be close? Did we miss anything? I'd love to see next year to go to a rollback. To the best of my knowledge, we have never done the rollback rate in Lake Park. All right. So while we look at it, if we could get used to this budget or part of it, it's very possible we may be able to get to that rollback rate next year. As a thought, that's all.
I would say if everything comes to fruition,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, because that's a big ask too, both on ourselves and on the residents, because if you roll back and what we have proposed don't come to full fruition,
Yeah.
that becomes very problematic.
Not this year.
No, I understand you. I'm
Okay.
thinking into the future,
All right.
Yeah.
right? Because that is what you're referring to in the
Correct.
26, 27 budget. So I'm saying, I mean, I concur with the hopes that everything gets done regardless of what happens, because it makes us more valuable and would make everything that is current more valuable.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. And again, you can never predict the future of what happens, but we know there are things that are going on right now that could possibly change this town dramatically. We have a major project still in its final stages. Hopefully, we're looking at one that will be complete before the first of the year, because that's how the property appraiser recognizes a property to put into revenue is it complete by January 1st. So if things like that happen, that is a major build-up to the town, which will then mitigate us and how we interpret how we're going to handle the budget within the next year. Lots of things are in play when it comes to that. We got insurance costs going through the roof. We got food costs going up. So there's a lot of intangibles that we all collectively have got to look at in terms of how we handle it, but we got to just watch the climate and see how it goes, because at the same time, there's concerns about it going down. It could work itself going back up, dependent on how the town is with projects, like I said, that are pending. And I'm not gonna, we all know where I'm talking about when it comes to projects, but, you know, again, this year we have to make our adjustments accordingly. Next year might not be as stringent that we have to be. So I'm happy with staff. I want to say thank you to staff about doing what you had to do, making those sacrifices, because indeed it is a sacrifice when you cut the budget. You anticipate something in the future that you plan to do, and then here we are having these discussions like, all right, we got to do some cuts. I know you said at one meeting that you used a reference. I don't really agree with that reference. I would just say we had to do what we had to do to make these adjustments, and we did it collectively, and that's what counts. So it's no different than if we're in our individual houses and we have to do that same thing. So we're doing it now, but I'm very hopeful for the future in terms of what can come online. And I'll use that reference because that's what we use at my other place of employment, which helps here dramatically. And if that happens, then next year's budget, yeah, like you're suggesting, that rollback rate maybe could be attainable, but even then, that suggestion you make about dropping is very attainable if the right things happen. So,
Yeah.
Commissioner O'Rourke.
Thank you. I suggested a nominal reduction because I really wanted to have that discussion that we just had. And the reason why I wanted that discussion is because as I started the conversation, the budget process is a policy process. It tells the residents what is important to us, what is important for our town manager and his staff to get things done. In this budget, we have included in budget item 001, 514, 108, 31, 101. We have included $400,000 for legal fees. So that, from my perspective, and you know, I've talked about my perspective, and so you understand where I'm coming from, but I would like to make this point for the record. Creating a policy where you're telling what we're calling projects that are supposed to come online, that they're not going to come online. That's a policy decision to do that. And that's what this commission has done. Always against my vote, because I've been perceived as the developer's guy. That's not my position. My position is I'm the revenue guy. I worry about the revenue of this town. And the revenue we're looking at this year does not any longer include ARPA funds. It doesn't include a lot of things that we were hoping were going to be there, but are not there. And as you talk about next year and what we're going to do, we've now put 2 projects in the downtown area off for that time. We'll never see that online the next year. These are things that concern me because this is messing with projected revenues that we had put in a plan to move forward to improve our town. And now, in this budget, because we want $400,000 for legal fees concerning our marina, instead of following the process that I asked and not ending the or withdrawing the reverter hearing, we have been put in a place where, as I suggested at that time, if we didn't remove that reverter hearing and instead scheduled a meeting with the people that we're trying to work with to increase our revenue in this town, and found first that we would find out where our differences are. Second, find out where we're in agreement. And third, find a plan to get to a resolution of those conflicts. We never have done that. I know there's a process going on right now, but it should not have stopped the progress of moving forward and affecting our revenue for the future. So that's my position, and thank you for hearing me out.
No, not a problem. Thank you for giving us your position. However, right now, the conversation is about the millage rate and where we should be with that. So I encourage my council, let's try to, again, stick with the narrative.
Well, if I may, I'm sorry. That is the narrative.
Understood.
My argument from the beginning was that budget process, the selection of a millage rate, and the approval of the budget, which will be the second item. I know we'll talk about that at that time, but maybe we don't have to because I'm bringing it up right now.
Understood, yeah.
That we have to get, we'll get to a place, you know, and I wanted to make my points, and I thank you for that.
No, and again, by what I'm saying is not discrediting anything you're saying. What you're saying is exactly what you're saying, and I appreciate that. What I'm saying is we still have to stay on course, because all that you're saying, you've already explained it in one simple phrase. It's already working itself out after you've said everything else. So by you closing that way, it's telling me, okay, it's time to get back to narrative.
Okay. Fair enough.
Commissioner Linden.
Since we're talking about income coming in and revenue coming in, we have two large businesses coming next online next year. Is that correct? Texas Roadhouse and
That's actually a part of this year.
Those are part of this
This
year,
year.
and they're part of the CRA.
Correct.
this year.
So they won't be,
Okay, okay,
they'll
all
actually
right,
be in the CRA,
all right.
correct. Yeah,
I didn't, okay, that answers it. Thank you.
But,
I get it.
Mr. Mayor.
Town manager.
Mr. Mayor, not to, just so that there's transparency going forward, and one of the things next year that we will probably be recommending is, looking at, and sometime next year, is looking at it, at a policy, a reserve policy, and bringing that to you all. And determining what that reserve number should be, so that should there be an issue going forward, a storm, anything like that, we have sufficient dollars. The recommendation that we're probably going to have going forward, at least at this moment, is to get to that number when you guys do determine that with whatever revenue increase there is coming in next year, assuming that there is, to ensure that, when there is an issue coming down, we're prepared for it. Of course, and then we do have to cover some of the dollars that we're deficient in this year. So that would be probably our first request next year, just so that, we communicate that with you all, that, policing those costs, that they be the priority of when new dollars do come in. But to Commissioner Thomas's point, we don't know when those dollars are truly coming in. We thought some of them were already coming in, so we'll again be very concerned and watching those dollars throughout the year, and of course hoping to push those projects as long as quickly
And
as we
again,
can.
that's what I'm referring to as the
So-
unpredictability. You don't know until you know.
And just for clarification too, a majority of the 22% increase does go to the CRA. That's where a
Yes.
majority of our increase in ad valorem did go to this year. So I just want to also,
I
for the
believe it was
public's
exactly, I
purposes.
believe that was 16% mistaken that went to the CRA of that 22.
So it was a significant number. So again, just wanted to point out a couple things.
Thank you, town manager. Okay. Is there any more discussion?
Yeah, I have one more question.
Sure. Commissioner Linden.
If we eliminated the CRA, then
Go ahead. I was just reacting. That's all.
Okay.
Go ahead.
we would lose about 100,000. How much would we lose from the county?
About $1 million.
About $1 million. And we're putting in $2 million of our own money this year. Is that correct?
Right, but a lot of the money that we're using is also being used within our community. So if it went away, we're still using it in the community that we would still have to spend those dollars in. So essentially, we're investing $2 million into a district that's bringing us $1 million, and we're still able to use that money within our community.
All right. Well, I understand how the CRA works, but that hit, I'm wondering how hard it would be. This is the wrong venue for it, but how hard it would be to call it whatever, CRA light, I don't know, but we'd still have a CRA, but with non-funding from the county. I don't know. It's different time, different conversations.
Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Thomas.
Yeah, I was going to say, the CRA is going to sunset anyway within about 14 years.
Yeah.
And so it really is to our benefit because the area, for example, that's along Silver Beach is monies that we're not even,
We don't even get it.
we're not even getting it. We've just, but what I'm saying, that's a plus for us. Because let's look at what's at the east corner of US 1, and you see that from I-95.
Absolutely.
Silver Beach is going to have to be your entrance way. What better, and this is CRA's dollars, that's going to be invested in that, and that's capital improvement, that's foresight right now for us, because it's bringing in a lot, but then it's going to be able to pay for the boulevard. I mean, let's look at that, because there's going to be, and I've spoken to, as I stated to the manager, our county official, and said, here, Silver Beach is also a county road, and there's a lot of understanding that this commission can bring to that table when we need to do some improvements on there, and that was one of the areas that I spoke to. So when we are looking at the benefit, it's more than just 26. It's looking at what that's going to be, because we have an anchor on the east side of that boulevard. You know what I'm saying? So I love your idea here. I hear what you're saying on this side, but I also, too, believe that one of the most beautiful things about Lake Park is that it was Kelsey City. It was always designed to include families, the warmth of families, not to be sold out, as I would say, for the sake of value, economic value, but the value that when Kelsey came here to develop our community, it was all about bringing friends and family here to enjoy this. And our city is one of very few that was planned by original planners. So think about it, the beauty that our town is. And so if projects didn't go forward, I would say it's because our town, which we have as a family, didn't want that form of a project maybe to go forward, because at the end of the day, we are Kelsey City. And I always look at our town as really knowing each other. We have a little library. Why would we invest all of that to have a little library where children can ride their bikes on a sidewalk? What was so surprising the other day, I was driving through a neighborhood just north of us, and there weren't any sidewalks. Let's think about the fact that every area in the town of Lake Park has a sidewalk. Good point. The forethought of that. And this is 2025, and our community is over 100 years old, right? So when we think about the character, I believe, of our community, we really need to know what the character of the people that live in our community and what we want from our community. Do we want people that come, spend some time and leave? Or do we really want a true community that's authentic? Yeah. And I would say right now our community is very authentic. We have so many different characters and diversity here. And that's what makes my town so beautiful. So as an elected official up here, as a commissioner, I hear us, and we all have the same interests. We want better for our community. Yeah. And that's a lovely thing, to want better. And I think with that, let's look to that we want better. And it's just not for today. It's for the future. It's for that next 50 years.
Okay.
If I may,
Absolutely. Commissioner O'Rourke.
thank you, everybody, for that discussion. We have a motion.
We have and we also have a second. I think we pretty much
I thought I
exhausted
made a
this.
motion, no?
Yeah, I don't.
I thought I
we're-
did.
No, we we have a motion and a
We have,
second.
no,
We're
we
just-
have,
call for the vote.
no, I know, he's basically saying we have a motion and a second.
Oh,
We've
let's
exhausted
vote.
ourselves in this
Yes,
discussion.
I just want to make sure
So
everybody's.
I don't foresee anybody rescinding the motion and
No,
changing it,
no.
so
No, not at all.
are we ready
In
to vote?
fact,
We're ready
you
to
may
vote.
have convinced me.
Well, here we go. Okay, well then, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The vote passes unanimously.
Aye.
What do you know? We can talk it out.
Well,
All right,
But we do have another motion.
but we do have another motion.
Yeah.
All right, now we have Resolution 710925, FY 2026 budget, all funds, Town of Lake Park, second and final reading. Ms. Barbara Gould, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Barbara Gould, Finance Director. Where we left off is we presented you some potential cuts for your input. I received your input, I tallied. Anything that has a majority, one way or another, we'll move forward with. It's the two twos that I need some direction on. So I've got them here sorted by department, and I will just breeze through the ones where there's no issue. So in the town commission, there is no issue. In the town manager's office, again, no issue. In HR, we still have a majority there, so we move forward. Our first one we encounter is in the town clerk's office, where on memberships and subscriptions, we're at 2-2. And I need direction.
Okay, so we only have 4 votes in. Commissioner O'Rourke, I know you're here, and she has presented us just so we all are clear. We have certain votes that we have in here, or I would use the word consensus, where we're split.
Well,
And,
if you want to know my position, I'll just tell you.
absolutely, please.
I don't support I don't support the cuts to staff. I don't think that's the way to move. I'm not going to support that. Barbara, you gave us a choice here. Maintain funding for each of the proposed changes. Do not cut, reduce within the original presented fiscal 2026 general fund budget. I suggest, this is a bugaboo of mine. I'm an attorney. First of all, I meant to say this to start before I started anything. I first want to start by apologizing. At times I've been a little caustic on this dais. I'm a lawyer. I'm a trial lawyer. I have been for almost 30 years. I have a tendency of, when I'm questioning people, I've questioned some difficult people in my life. And sometimes you have to do a hard interrogatory, a hard questioning. And I have at times, I think I've gone after, not intentionally, commissioners. Some of the public I've made comments about. I'm a big enough guy where the public is entitled to their view of me and the things they want to say. And so I do want to apologize if I have presented myself at times to be somebody's a little difficult to deal with. I may accept that position, but I will work harder not to be in that position. But the thing that is important to me is that I am a lawyer. I look at things in a deeper level, or maybe just a different way of looking at things than other people do. One of the things I do as a lawyer, I've had over 100 trials in my lifetime, and that's probably about 100 more than Mr. Baird has had. I don't know. Generally speaking, from the town attorney's perspective, when there's conflict, those conflicts are resolved through negotiations more than through legal documents of what we call throwing paper. It's a legal term meaning bringing a lawsuit. Lawsuits can be expensive. In this budget, we have set aside $400,000 for the possibility of that. I think that budget item should move into a reserve, that it's not designated for that purpose, and that we should work these things out without the seeming objective of going to court. I don't believe we're in that place where we need to do that, as I said earlier, and I'm going to repeat this for Kelly. When I said that we shouldn't present, we shouldn't withdraw from the reverter hearing, that instead we should do a three-part process of negotiation that includes first finding out where we agree, second finding out where we disagree, and third finding out where we can get to resolution on those things that we disagree. If we were to do that, I don't think there's a need for $400,000 to be put into the legal fund. And I say that mainly because the other proposal is, as the second proposal, to cut revenue. I mean, not revenue, expenses. There's two ways a business or a government or an entity, business-wise, can become solvent. First is we increase revenue. Clearly, this year, that's the only increase in revenue is through rollbacks, and mostly through property value increases in the CRA. The second proposal here is that we're going to put aside cost of living increases. I am opposed to that. I'm also opposed to freezing some of the positions. In particular, I'm going to mention one that community development is giving up a position that's not filled yet, but should have been filled long ago, for a second permit person. It would be very helpful, I'm sure, to our community development director to have somebody, a second person working on permits. Because when I go out in the town and I hear about people doing projects in their town, the thing they complain about the most is that the permit process is a disaster. I think it's because we are a small town. We are understaffed still. And now we're proposing to keep being understaffed, especially in a critical area. So I would suggest that we don't cut back on the COLA, and that we don't cut back on, in particular, that permit position. And the last thing I wanted to talk about was the marina. Maybe I should just hold off on that. There's probably a better time to discuss that at a different agenda item. But the agenda item for the marina, the budget, I'm not sure is fully been explored as to where those funds are coming from. So, but for now, like for example, I'll give you one thing that bothers me about the marina budget. There is something called a sewer. What is it called? The sewage drain system pump, something to that effect, system. Right, the pump out. We have been, apparently we've been operating our marina without that pump working. And if I'm wrong on that, I see the marina director is here. If I'm wrong on that, I would gladly like to hear something different than that. But my understanding is that pump is not working. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct, and we
Okay,
are,
so if I may, how much would it cost to repair that? Because right now, it seems that the boats are discharging their sewage into either our marina or into our waterways.
Jason.
Good evening, Jason Tenney, Marina Director. You are correct. Our Blackwater pump-out system has been down since May, and we are in the grant process now of getting a replacement pump. To replace it out of pocket right now would be about $28,000.
Okay, so we found $400,000 for a lawsuit that we don't know whether we're going to have or not. Why can't we use part of that money, move the rest of the money to reserve? It seems like last night we had a meeting where we increased our health benefits for our employees that I voted for and agreed with, from $45,000 to about $90,000 per year. That, I was told, we could get that from reserve. I asked the same question, why can't we just take this money from reserve and take care of this problem that should have been taken care of months ago?
Jason, what is the
And
direction?
I'm not sure that's for you, Jason. I'm kind of addressing the town manager, and I cut you off, and I apologize for that.
well, with regards to the reserves, this is a separate fund, so the reserves are separate
okay, right.
and different.
You're right.
So,
That's
yes,
you're saying it's separate from the marina?
it's separate
Because
from the
marina,
health insurance, yeah.
Except that you put the 400,000 into,
Right, because
because the marina is an enterprise?
it's an enterprise
It's an
fund.
enterprise fund, so it's a separate fund altogether from the general.
Right.
So
So-
then that 400,000 really has no play in any of this.
Well, the 400, we did transfer dollars over from the marina to assist with our general fund, just like we would transfer over in enterprise funds. Yeah, just for there was a comment a number of meetings ago that the town is advocating for boats to discharge this black water into the lagoon. Jason, can you address that, because that was not a correct statement in any way by a member of.
Yes, we absolutely do not advocate for someone overboard discharging within the marina. There are other local marinas where they're able to go get a pump out. Riviera Beach City Marina, Sailfish Marina, there's other marinas that are close by that they're able to get that pump out service at. Or when they're 2.5 miles offshore, they're able to discharge overboard.
And are we required to have that pump out system?
No.
So we do that as we do that as a benefit. I agree, we need to get it repaired and get it corrected. I know Jason's working on it, he's working with Merrill. They submitted the grant application to assist in, saving dollars. And so we're hopeful to get that. We actually talked about it today. Jason's looking at running it concurrent so that we have an agreement with you guys to be able to go to construction as soon as those grant dollars are approved. So we're working on that, and we actually spoke about that today.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Barbara, I did count how many of these splits you have. I think it's 7 total, correct?
I didn't count them.
Yeah, just looking through all the departments. I believe the first one you said was the town clerk. Next. Right. Correct. Next one would be general fund, public, it would be in Public Works. The next one would be in Public Works as well, and under the vehicle maintenance. And then the last four is all in the general and special events.
Correct.
Okay. So,
So I guess what we're looking for is, would someone change, is someone interested in changing from 2.2, or would you, is,
You want us to revote?
well, on the membership dues and subscriptions, we have a 2.2 decision on that, so we need to have direction on what you guys would like us to do with that.
We're missing a fifth vote.
And his vote is included in there, so,
I'm just checking to see what I did originally. I have my paper here. And here is our fifth. Did I be for the record that Vice Mayor Hensley is here for this meeting? Welcome.
Right in time.
Just so we can get you up to speed with things, we had a vote already for the millage of what we set as the highest millage. We did not change it, lower it. We kept it at the 5.1. And now we are discussing the final budget sheet, which they have looked at our surveys that we've conducted, and there's discrepancies as 7 items that we have a split vote on, and we're trying to decide and give direction on where we should go. Thank you. Okay. The first one is in the town clerk budget, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
That's town clerk budget. It's under membership dues and subscriptions. What is being asked of us is to provide direction, meaning for us to change our stance on it from what we originally voted on to give a clear-cut vote to move this item along to get these last bit of items. And there are 7 total items between the departments that we just have to look at, which is very minimal. And that's where we stand.
And
Well-
Barbara,
No, please go
Go
ahead.
ahead, okay.
Barbara, I just want to have clarity on this, okay? Where you have made an adjustment, an example would be the clerk's office has reduced their budget from $870 to $680. To me, that's what is being proposed, right?
Correct.
Okay. So in the column where it says agree to keep in budget, what you're proposing, I'm agreeing to keep it in the budget. That's how I'm interpreting it, okay? Because that makes sense to me.
with no change.
I want you to understand what you're saying right now is that it's 680, because you remember at our last meeting, we asked you to look at the budget and come back with some suggestions of how this could be reduced. At least that's
Right,
what
so-
I understood it as being.
So what the column says, agree to keep in budget, is saying is that you guys don't want to make any changes to the budget at all. These are proposals that we're asking you guys to either support or not support. So the agree to cut from budget is saying that you agree with the proposal that we're making there. So if you agree to keep it in the budget, there's no change. It stays at 870. If you agree to cut it from the budget, you're agreeing with our proposal to cut it from 870 to 680.
Okay. I hear that. But as an educator, that is not how, I'm just like saying, as an educator, when we're trying to teach our public, our children how to understand this, it would be, you reduced it, this is what we're proposing to you now, so therefore, do you want to keep it or do you not want to keep it, i.e. that item? That is how we interpret it as. How do I know? Because I'm teaching my generation, so I know how they're thinking, okay? So it's just wordage on the way we would have done this, because to me, we asked you to reduce it, you reduced it. So we want to keep it at that reduction, or we don't want to keep it at all. That's how I interpret it as being.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat of an educator, but that's what I thought it was.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let me make sure I'm saying this correctly, that if it says maintaining the budget, it wasn't talking about the adjustment that was made?
The maintaining, well, see, the column said, do you want to maintain it in the budget or do you want to cut it from the budget? The columns that we provided. And so the maintaining in the budget is, do you want to cut it at all? If you don't want to cut it at all, you're maintaining it as it is. If you're reducing or cutting from the budget, then we gave you an option of what that cut should be.
Okay.
You can see how that is confusing, right?
Yeah, because I took it the other
Yeah.
route. But, I mean, it's pretty much similar to what I want anyways from my budget sheet. I think we probably should focus on the 7 items if we're all in.
Yeah, that's it. Just the one, that's all we're
Okay,
looking at.
all right.
Commissioner Linden, you were trying to speak before. Go ahead.
No, that's okay.
He,
Yeah, it took a phone call to clarify it for me with Barbara.
absolutely.
So,
Did you think that same way as well?
pardon?
The question was, did you
Did you
have the same-
think the same rationale that we were like thinking?
Yes, because I had to redo another one. It says amended, all right? So,
If it's amended, that is what they are proposing, like the recommendation. So therefore, I'm looking at the recommendation and then moving forward.
well, once I understood, I was able to vote clearly, all right? So, once I understood, based on our phone calls, I'm very confident in my votes, since I understood it the way
Yeah.
that we were just explained.
And
So,
we did send out a follow-up email as well, clarifying that as well.
so the question was, do any of us want to change anything? I don't want to change any of my votes, all right, because I understand it. And since 4 of us voted, the 5th one's on the dais, that,
He's already given the position that he does not
Yeah.
want to vote because clearly he feels, and I will paraphrase it, and you let me know if I'm not mistaken, he feels that this right here, as far as the breakdown of these specific items, staff can clearly handle that themselves to do so. Our role here is as policymakers, not as day-to-day operators. Did I miss anything? He has not voted on any of this. So clearly we have
An impasse.
an impasse. I would suggest 2 things, and you can take that as you want. These 7 items, I would say either leave it in the hands of our town manager to determine them, because I'm looking at these numbers of these items, and I'm seeing a difference. Let's just talk the town clerk one. A difference of a savings of $190. I'm looking at this next one here. Let me get to it. A savings of $2,000. That's a little more significant. $3,795, $4,850, $4,000, $1,140, and a $5,000 item.
Really?
That's, I'm just giving you the cost savings.
25,000?
25,000.
I don't know.
I'm thinking this is something that clearly can be determined in-house with the staff, with the town manager, and I don't think this deserves any amount of length of a time to decide whether we should vote differently or not. If we're all in the positions that we are, and we don't want to remove our stance from them, then I clearly am confident that I can hand it to the finance director, the town manager, all the executive staff, and let them make those determinations. They're clear on our direction collectively, because we've had the clear direction
And we would appreciate that,
That's my thoughts.
the only thing is, when you make your vote, when you vote on your budget tonight, we would assume that that would stay in your budget, and then allow us to then identify, because we have to present a final number to the state of what was voted on, and so that's fine, and we can then determine whether to keep it later on or to hold off on
Correct, and
utilizing
I'm
the
taking
funds.
that thought and that suggestion because you indicated previously in a previous meeting that allow you the time to look through the budget and decipher it throughout the course of the next budget cycle. I think these 7 items, you can clearly look through it and determine, since we're talking maybe like a $20,000, $30,000 difference, what can stay and what can go.
Barbara, and I just really want to clarify this on the record, okay? We spoke about all of these items today, did we not?
Correct, we
So
did.
that we had a great understanding, and I had a great understanding of what we were doing.
Exactly,
Correct?
exactly.
Okay. So I'm just putting it on the record, so it wasn't that Commissioner Thomas was confused and she voted it incorrectly. You and I both knew exactly what was said, and we both ended up on the same page, correct?
That is correct.
And you have my page, correct?
I have your pages.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So, Commissioner Linden.
If we agree to cut it from the budget, as is, give you the discretion of the ones that are tied. And I'm looking at this one, just the top one. Here, let me go to eliminate holiday calendar, public notice, mailers and properties in town. It just happens to be the third one on the second to the last page. It was a 2-2 vote, okay? The money that we're going to cut from the budget. John, where are you right now? I'm sorry. Page 13.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 23.
Correct. 23.
Page 23. Thank you for the page numbers, Barbara. Makes it easier. Page 23. The 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one from the bottom. It's a 2-2 tie, all right? If that money agreed to cut from the budget, it'll go back into the reserves, correct? All right, so if we give you the authorization to do that, the group decides on that, if any of these items, and I just happened to pick that one, if we decide that we do need that, for whatever reason, there's a bunch of different reasons throughout. If you came in front of us and asked us to allocate whatever the difference was, and this one just happened to be $5,000, from 10 to 5, could we bring that up for a vote at that time? Or
It's under my
Make sure that-
threshold for purchasing, but what we would do is we probably would leave the dollars where they are and make the determination on whether to use them or not. So by the end of the year, any dollars that are not used, so rather than moving it to a reserve expense account, it would stay in the line. If we don't use it at the end of the year, it rolls into your reserves, just like it does this year or any other year. Your dollars that you don't use just goes right into your reserve account. So we wouldn't have to reallocate dollars or do anything. It would already be allocated. I would just be making the decision with the department heads. And of course, if we needed to come back, we certainly would, but the money would already be there, so we wouldn't have to do that. It's just a decision, do we want to use it or not?
So we have the money there in the budget, in the reserve. Yeah, it's already kind of locked in for the entire thing. So if we were to cut it from the budget, it would still be in the reserves, correct?
We would budget it in one of two places. We would do it as a reserve expense or put it in your contingency. If we did it in either of those, it would be a much more difficult process of moving that money back into a different portion of the fund. It just would be easier to leave it right where it is. It'd probably cost staff, the town more in staff time to move it than it would be just to leave it where it is.
So if I understand you correctly, you want to leave everything that we voted on, yes or no, in the budget and take it as
The
needed?
dollars that we are not using, we're talking about the 7 items.
Correct, correct.
7 items is all I'm talking about. The other dollars would be removed from the
Okay.
lines.
All right,
But our budget would still be the same total budget amount because it's just going from a line in a separate cost center or division into either contingency or into a reserve expense account.
all right, so, yeah, all right. I got that, I can understand that, I'm going to.
Yeah, I saw it in you. I saw
Yeah.
it just hit.
Okay,
All right.
thank you, I'm sorry.
So, Commissioner O'Rourke.
There's another way we could do this. I could give you my position on all those that are 2-2.
Correct.
I can do that right now.
Okay.
And I'll go through it. On page 1, there's nothing that's 2-2. I don't need to address that. I'm sorry, on page 9, there's nothing for me. There, it looks like those things have been resolved already.
First one's on 12.
Yeah, the town clerk one.
The first one is on page 12, yes. I think it's very important for the clerk to have her membership. She's actually been awarded recognition for her great work as a clerk, and I would support to keep that in the budget. On
Keep it in the
town
budget.
clerk, keeping the membership dues and subscriptions.
Next one's on page 18. That would be in the Public Works.
Mm. 18,
18.
yes.
Page 18, top line.
I would vote to keep that into the budget. I think notice to the public is very important.
Okay, the next one after that would be 21,
Page 21,
and then the final 4 would be the next page after that.
I would vote to keep that in the budget,
Okay?
item ending in 46300.
And then the next one would be on page 23. There's 4 items there, and that would be
Yes.
it.
With regard to printing, again, public notice, I think it's important that public notice stays in. I would vote to keep that in. On particular, and I'd like to comment about this, red, white, and blue sunset celebration. This is our 250th year anniversary as a nation. I think cutting money from that celebration would be not a good idea. I also would say that there may be a way to make that event greater. I've talked about this to the director by allowing or discussing with Riviera Beach if they would be interested in combining efforts there. So if we were able to do that, the numbers could change in any way, but I would be against cutting that from the budget.
We're keeping that one in.
The Tour de Parc. Okay. That would mean I would have to tell my dear friend Kim Glass Castro that I'm cutting her, and I'm not that brave. So I
Well,
will
just,
vote to
just
keep
let
that
the,
in
just
there.
let the 2 people that decide to cut it, let her know. It works for me. I wasn't one of them.
I know you're part, I know you like that event too, so.
I'm just joking. It's okay.
I'm going
Go
to
ahead.
I would vote to keep that in. And Haitian Flag Day, I would vote to keep that in.
Okay. Well, I think that
If that makes things easier.
pretty much took care of that. So no need to handle it on the staff level. Thank you, Commissioner O'Rourke. I think we pretty much done that. Any questions for Barbara and staff? If there's no questions, I will entertain a motion. Before you make that motion, I would like to ask my commissioners, I do have a public comment card here. If you would allow me to let this person speak, I need your consensus.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And this will be from Mr. Berry. And thank you for providing us with the documents. I will pass that around.
I want to salute my commissioners and mayors and the unity and all the department head. I consider you guys as watchmen and watchwomen for our town. So I'm here just to explain in case if someone would think like the budget that the town allocate to us is too much. Sorry if I don't have a copy for the manager, but from there you can see all the expenses that we're gonna be doing. And there's something like in the community, it's not exactly our town, but everywhere. Once you have the city of a community get involved in something, everybody would take years to be grandiose. So that means this event we've been doing over 10 years. So starting from scratch, and then now the city since a few years have been supporting us, and it's been a great help. So I want all you guys to know, once we have had your help, this town's a grant, so people expect that the event should be grandiose, and we're trying to keep it grandiose. So that's why you could see if you would take like something is too expensive, put that in your mind. People are expecting things too. So before I try to read for you some major expenses, down the bottom I said there are some stuff like plaque or awards gift to sponsors are not included because we give them occasionally. It's not every year. And I said, if everything every year we bought from scratch, the budget we have here would be much more expensive. So we have done a pretty much good job in keeping what we buy from last year. So that's why our budget is not that expensive, but it could have been more. So, and then I could go up and just read to you some, a generator rental, 400, stage 20 by 20 rental, 1,000, stage cover-up rental, 300. All of them are listed here with what they cost. So if you, and let me specify it, there are...
Actually, Mr. Berry, your time is up, but we appreciate you telling us this. And just to let you know also, we've voted to include the entirety in the budget. So,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Thank you for allowing Mr. Berry to speak to my fellow commissioner members. So we have everything pretty much set as far as this is concerned. If there are no other questions for staff or Barbara more specifically or the town manager, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Not a motion to adjourn. That is a little bit too quickly.
I move
but
to-
we appreciate you.
Judith.
I move to approve
I
resolution
second.
710925, adopting Town of Lake Park FY 2026 final budget, all funds on second reading, and has authorized the mayor to execute the resolution.
Do we have a second? I think,
I second.
okay, we have a first and a second. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
I would
Aye.
like,
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry?
I would like a roll call vote, please.
Oh, you should have just said it. Go ahead.
Well, I
Okay.
didn't say it quick
No,
enough.
I understand. Town clerk, can you go ahead and do the roll call vote? I know we just did it, but
Vice Mayor Hensley,
Yay. About to say president.
Commissioner Thomas,
Yay.
Commissioner Linden,
Yay.
Commissioner O'Rourke,
Yay.
Mayor Mashad.
yay. And Ms. Barbara, you may now breathe.
A job well done, the finance department and our new finance director and staff. Thank you for your service.
I want to thank all of you on the staff, as well as you, town manager, for going through this process. It is not easy. We understand that. And there's a lot of interactions, a lot of changes, a lot of modifying. But to get to this point and actually know that we've set things in stone and gotten to this point, it speaks to you guys collectively. We thank you all, and we thank you for getting us to the finish line. So, and as well as us commissioners for doing our parts and working together, tearing down this budget and making it work for us to move forward into the next budget year. So, thank you again to all.
And thank you to you all for, your continuous support, your thoughtfulness through the budget, your willingness to understand and listen to, where some of the staff's positions were on some of the items. So thank you, and thank you for, and being patient, and thank you to the community. I want to thank Barbara as well. Barbara worked so hard, and our staff worked so hard as well to support her. But Barbara's going to probably take a few days off.
Yay.
But if you want to leave your books in the next couple weeks, we'll get you the final
Sure.
version of the budget printed out once it's all.
How soon will it be published? Online?
Barbara's going to. It'll probably be a couple weeks.
Okay,
and then
just so the public understands that. Yeah.
So probably at least a couple weeks, and because we need to make a number of these changes now and get that resolved. So again, thank you for your support, and I know that change is sometimes different, but I appreciate and we'll take the feedback and continue to work better and get this process continued moving forward. So thank you.
Okay. And thank you, Commissioner O'Rourke, for coming in and being the heavy hitter to knock this thing out of the park and get it done.
Can I make a motion?
Well, is there any comments?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
It'll only be short.
Commissioner
Yeah.
Linden.
Question for the town manager, and you and I have discussed this a little bit, and we heard it tonight from a resident. When can we logically start next year's budget? What makes sense to you? Because we're up against this right now, which is very troublesome to me.
And again, a number of communities are doing this as well. Indian River county's the same. So there's a number of communities that are that are running behind. I think, with us, we want to continue to engage with you guys like we did early with the budget priorities. I think this year, doing the budget priorities, later in the game too, kind of, we can look at some ways of doing that different. But the workshops, maybe making sure that there's a complete understanding that the workshops are the time to probably make the changes that we're looking to make, is something that we can look, at maybe clarifying more. But our CIP process, as I've mentioned previous, we're looking at starting either later this year or early in 2026 in January, so that we can bring that to you and start talking about some of the bigger projects, bigger equipment purchases, which will fund into the budget. Your budget's broken up into 3 parts, essentially: your personnel, your operating, and your capital. Your personnel is essentially set. Unless we're looking to do something there, it's set. Your capital is based on your CIP. Once you establish what you want your CIP to be, that's essentially set. Then really the only thing that we're really looking at is our operating, and that's your professional services, that's your water, sewer, electric, operating supplies, training, travel, those types of things. So those things, your main changes are in capital and CIP. And so if we can do that early on, then we'll be ahead of the game through the whole process.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Thomas?
Yes, we have already spent a lot of time on this budget. I don't want to talk anymore about this budget, and neither does staff. This is supposed to be gone. I was hoping that we were going to be able to get to buds, and we need to leave. I'm just saying. Anybody else got stuff to say? Because this is just supposed to be the budget. This is a one item tonight.
Understood, but we
Okay.
still have to respect the agenda and each other in terms of making comments, so I'm going to do that.
It's like saying
No,
that.
no, I understand what you're saying.
What I would like to say to the manager is this, is that it was just a simple question what you were asking. And I think what it was is that if we can start in January, then we should start in January. And I think that's all it is. And for manager, we realized that we had to go through all of that. I'm just budgeted out. That's all. Thank you.
Understood. But we do have an agenda to go through, so I'm just saying.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a motion to
I'll
adjourn?
second
Do we have
that.
a